Welcome to Kid Funk Presents the Ballantine's True Music Series, an annual project that gives uncompromising artists a platform to share and experience their music. I'm your host Kid Funk, bringing you exclusive access to the successes, struggles and creative processes of industry artists breaking new ground. Not only will we be talking about artists who are breaking new ground, but legends in the industry who have opened doors for many DJs and producers along the way. And this evening I will be sitting with none other than the king, the legend, Vinny the Vinci, and hearing his story of how it all started and the fact that he will never ever stop DJing. Welcome, Vinny.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Yep.
We have flown all the way from Johannesburg to throw a party with you this evening with not only with Vinny Da Vinci, we've got JM.
Yep.
I'll be playing a set, and we have the amazing artwork of Spanish artist Felipe Panton, which is going to be our kind of visual soundtrack for the evening.
It's looking amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Tell me, Vinny, let's get into this, and let's go back. When did it start? I remember seeing Vinny at House Africa when I was a very young boy, and I used to go and Vinny would be at the back kind of marking off all the records that he wanted to ship. Now obviously you'd been doing this like a long time before. There's an age difference between us. Where did it start? Where did the music thing start? Because you've been in this game forever. You are part of South Africa's house culture.
Look, it started way back when I was still at high school. When we have parties at school,
yeah,
I would be the designated guy who plays the music.
Really?
Not a DJ.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the music.
So you just press play, song ends, press play, song ends.
And because I've always loved music and I listen to a lot of radio, record all the tracks that I play on radio, onto tapes, and then there's a party at school. Vinny's got the music.
How old were you then?
A teenager. I was in my teens, yeah.
Okay.
I was in my teens,
And then what happened from there? What was the next step? So you're DJing at school. Well, not DJing. You're playing music for people to...
Yeah, I'm just playing music. I'm not a DJ. So, and then next step, I figured, I think the next thing would be I think what happened was, then I started going out to clubs, seeing DJs playing.
Who were you seeing?
There was this guy from Pretoria. His name was DJ Corey.
Corey?
Yeah, legend. I mean, that guy is
amazing.
Yeah,
this is the first time I'm hearing of him.
So he was playing at this club in Pretoria called Ship Ahoy.
Okay.
And there was this night called the Ladies' Night. So we'd go out there and check out the ladies and listen to good music.
How old were you then?
Probably around 18, 19.
Okay, so you were legal. You were the right age to be clubbing.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I got fascinated by the fact that, you hear this track playing, but it's not ending. It's almost like one track playing.
Right.
And I'm like, but how's that possible? And then I managed to wiggle my way into the DJ booth and just stand behind him and just watch what he's doing. And I guess from that night on, I caught the bug, basically.
Things changed.
So
was he playing vinyl?
He was playing vinyl, yeah.
And what sort of music was he playing at the time?
House.
He was playing house.
I mean...
And was this prior to Kwaito?
Before Kwaito, yeah. I mean, at the time, the local music we were listening to was called bubblegum.
Yes.
You know what bubblegum means?
Yes.
It's sweet now, and then 2 minutes later, it's gone.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So, we were listening to artists like the late Brenda Fassie. They were around at the time.
Sure.
And so this house thing, this guy that the music he was playing, I was like, this is so nice, it's...
And he was mixing it properly.
And mixing, and I didn't know what mixing is because I could see him go up, next one, but seamless.
Amazing.
And obviously I managed to, get to know him.
Yeah.
And later on I started going to his house just to go meet,
Sure.
how do you do this?
Right.
And he showed me, he's like, look, we use turntables. This is called a turntable. And I think that was the first time I saw a Technics
Yes,
turntable,
1200.
1200. And eventually, me and my friends got together, got some money together, and then we bought a DJ console. You know that one?
That has everything.
It's two turntables,
Yes.
a mixer, all in one, but
Yes.
it's not a Technics,
It's some other cheaper version.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
cheaper
yeah,
version, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's how I, taught myself how to mix,
Okay.
to take two records, try and yeah.
And you got it.
And yeah, eventually I got it, yeah.
And then there's a lot of avenues I want to take because there's a lot of history in Vinny, especially in South African house music. When did you start getting booked for gigs? And was the name always going to be Vinny Da Vinci? I mean, there's a lot of people that stick to their name, and then
Yeah.
there's people like myself who've got an alias.
Yes.
Is Vinny, were you like, this is going to be my DJ name? How did it change?
Look, let me summarize it quickly. It's like, for me to start playing in a club, I think that one night, there was a night I went to a club, another club also in Pretoria, just to go hang out, and listen to music. And on that particular night, the DJ didn't pitch. And there's Vinny sitting at a corner, and somebody went to the manager, the club owner, and like, dude, Vinny's here, he can play, you know? And the guy doesn't know me. He's like, but does he have his records with? Like, no, but we can go to his house, it's not far. So manager calls me up to his office, like, dude, I hear you can play, we need a DJ.
Wow.
I'm like, we can go to my house right now. So jump into his car, quickly went home,
Bag of records.
got my crate of
Yes.
vinyl, came back to the club, and that was it. And the resident got fired.
Amazing.
He got fired, and then I was hired to be the guy, the resident DJ in the club. And jumping over to how Vinny Da Vinci came about.
Yeah.
My name is Vincent,
Right, okay.
And people called me Vinny all the time.
Sure.
And at that particular club, they had a scroll running around the club in UV light, whatever.
Sure.
So whoever's playing, you'll see the name all over, right?
Wow.
So they're like, we need a name for you because people need to know who you are. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I'm Vinny, so what's wrong with that? Like, no, but it's not
Doesn't have that oomph.
it's not sexy, It's not sexy enough. So I'm like, okay, fine, what do you think? They're like, no, but because you are Vinny and we're gonna call you Leonardo. Okay, all right, Leonardo, okay. Whatever, it's cool.
Yeah,
go with
just
it.
go with it.
So a couple of weeks, I see my name, Leonardo, going around. So everybody started calling me Leonardo. But then I'm like, no, but this name, it doesn't sit well with me. And I'm like, yeah, but, you can still use my name. Like Leonardo, they said, okay, fine. This artist from the olden days, Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
So they put Da Vinci at the end.
That's amazing.
So Leonardo da Vinci, a couple of weeks again, I'm like, nah, man, I'm not feeling this Leonardo thing. Let's put Vinny. Put my name on there. Then Vinny came up, Vinny Da Vinci.
And you were happy.
And I was happy with that.
I've never heard that story in my life. And I'm sure a lot of people that are going to be watching this are going to be...
And then, I was
this will
happy
be the
with
first
that.
time we ever know why Vinny's name is Vinny Da Vinci.
Yes,
Then I need to know, so that was literally your beginning, your residency.
Beginning residency, yes.
How did you reach out from there? So I mean, I have kind of a similar story. I got a residency to start.
Yeah.
I forced my way into a club. I landed up playing there for a couple of years, but then the club ended. Then it was like, how do I branch out? How do I go play
Elsewhere,
in PE, in Cape Town? And how did you land up spreading your sound, your music?
Similar story. Club closed down.
Okay.
Right?
So you were just playing that club?
Residency, yeah, at the club.
Right.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every week. And at the same time, I had a day job as well.
Sure.
So, working in a clothing store, you know. And so I think what happened was, because especially the Friday mornings, you know, there'd be a problem for me because I wake up late and get to work late. So I got warned twice, like for being late at work. Right, okay, fine. And you know, a third strike, you're out. So I started being, you know, on time, but there was this particular Friday, after a big night at the club, I woke up late. Called my boss at the office. I'm like, dude, I'm not coming back. Simple. Quit the day job. Yeah.
Instead of getting fired.
Instead of getting fired, so I quit. You know.
Sure.
And then went on. Club closed down. Now I don't have anywhere else to play except, you know, the odd party, 21st birthday party or whatever. And a friend of mine had a club in Hillbrow, in Johannesburg. And I've heard that he's got a club. But me, Johannesburg, nah, you know, not there yet. Like I couldn't see myself in Joburg. I was scared of Johannesburg, you know. And this particular, I think this guy came to my house to come. I saw his car coming in. I thought he came for a visit, you know. And yeah, Vinny, you know I've got a club, yes. I know you're a good DJ. Let's go to Joburg. I know you hate Johannesburg. You don't want to go to Joburg. Let's just go, see how it goes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know. But let's try it out. Packed overnight bag, went to Joburg, stayed at his house, and then weekend comes, Friday I go to his club, started playing. And you know when you're in a club and then you see all these artists at the time that were coming up, that's the beginning of Kwaito then, you know.
For sure.
Then I see Du just walking around the club. I see Arthur just walking around the club. I see Oskido. I didn't even know who Oskido is. There's Oskido. I'm like, okay. And while I'm playing, they keep coming to me with their new music. Right?
Yeah.
On vinyl, they're like, play this track. I'm like, well, let me try it. Oh, sounds nice. Let me play it. Club goes crazy. I'm like, wow, this is nice. Actually, I could do this, you know? And I think that's when things started opening up for me, you know?
For sure.
And after the night,
What year was this? I mean...
That was 1993, 94.
Okay.
Actually, it was 1993 because that was just before the first elections.
Okay.
I remember that very well, yes, yeah. So, and went back home. Got home, I told my mom that I saw something in Joburg. And actually, I think I like what I saw, and I'm not working. I'm staying at home. Let me go try that thing, you know? My mom was like, no, Johannesburg, no, you can't go there, whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna try.
For sure.
I still have a bed here, so I can go there. If it doesn't work, I'll come back.
For sure.
And remember, now I'm studying it. For that gig, I think I got paid something like, that first night, I got paid something like $500.
That's
and $500 at the time
good, that's what I was about to say.
Was amazing, you know?
You must have been flush.
You know, so if I do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's 150. It's what
1,500.
1,500.
And you're balling.
And I'm rocking. You know? So the guy's like, look, you can stay with me while you do this, and once you're on your feet, you can get your own place.
Were you DJing the whole night, or were you like doing what we're doing tonight? So you had a
they had a guy who maybe he'll open, and then I'll do the main. I was the main guy basically.
Vinny Vinci, the main guy, always has been. How long was your set?
Long sets because you know clubs back then they were not closing at 2. They will go till the morning, and they start early. I mean like around 5, 6 o'clock, people start coming in.
For sure.
And then I'll get to the club maybe around 10, and I'll start at 10 till the morning, around 4 or 5 o'clock, you know. And
what were okay? So other than the music that you were playing, that was being given to you by all these amazing stars at the time, what were you playing?
A lot of, believe it or not, R&B and hip hop.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of R&B and hip hop, like Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
All that, yeah. So
all the stuff, if I can get the timing right, all the stuff that was being played on Bop TV.
Yeah,
on afternoon Bop TV used to have it's dedicated to US R&B and soul and hip hop.
Yes. Okay. So I think I'd say 70% of the set would be R&B, hip hop, and soul.
Right.
House, I'll play it at the end. Because at the time, Johannesburg, I don't know. I mean, they couldn't get to grips with house music. It was Kwaito and R&B and hip hop. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
what changed, and then what made you say, "This is my lane. This is Vinny Da Vinci. This is deep house. This is what I'm doing." Because there's no doubt in my mind that I would never catch you playing a hip hop and R&B set these days.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I came up playing the deep house. I mean, Larry Head. That was the roots of my, Larry Head, Frankie Knuckles, and all that. But Joburg, they couldn't get it. Pretoria was the capital of this thing, of house music. So, and I think as the years went by, Kwaito became big. It just took over everything. Yeah. House was nowhere, right? If you play house in a club, only 2-3 people will get it. But once you play quite a track, it just explodes. So I think that's when I started joining, because I was going to House Africa to buy records all the time from Tim. Yes.
So House Africa was just Tim.
It was Tim and Dana. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time, and then G-Force joined them as well, Graham. And then I was a regular at the shop, so they see me all the time, come. I got paid on the weekends, so I'll buy music.
Of course.
So, yeah. And I went to Tim. I just said, look, I'm playing at this club. I'm okay, but I'm not doing anything during the day, so I need to film, my time. Is there a job at House Africa for me? Wow. And he thought I was joking. And it's like, yeah, but Vinny, I think you're fine. You're okay. I'm like, but I still need a job. He's like, okay, fine. You can start tomorrow. Wow. Just like that,
And where was this year-wise?
95, maybe 95, beginning of 96.
Was this when House Africa was on Louis Botha?
Even before he went to Louis Botha, it was still in Hillbrow, on Pretoria Street, at the corner there of Pretoria Street.
So when did it move from there to Louis Botha?
That was 1996.
Okay, so shortly after.
Yeah, shortly after, 96, then moved to Orange Grove. Cool. Then at that time, I'm on my feet now. I've got my own flat. I'm
working at the coolest record shop.
At the record store. I'm playing every weekend at the club. I still send my mom some money at home. So but it's cool,
Yeah.
That was 1996. Then I started getting recognized by the then bashes that were happening at varsities, and now I know everyone. I know Oskido, I know Christos, I know all the guys, and when they do events, my name always pops up. Like, no, but we need this guy on the lineup.
Yeah.
I joined them. And then came 97. And then there was this buzz going around Joburg about this new radio station that is coming up, right?
YFM.
Yeah, YFM. And then they got I think on the dial, I think that first, maybe about 2-3 months, they were just playing music non-stop, with no one talking on the mic. Just music.
I remember this was a similar time when Soul Candy and YFM seemed to come up at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
And House Africa was there, and it was just... I remember being really young and just seeing this house explosion.
Exactly.
And it was because of YFM.
Because of YFM. And they were playing house music at 6 a.m. all day. And Greg came to us, Greg Maluka, the then programs manager of YFM, came to us like, look, obviously you know about the station and we're gonna need content, music.
For sure.
You've got a record store. So let's talk, let's make a deal. Every shipment that comes in, record the tracks, I'll come and pick it up.
Amazing.
That went on, and then I think that was the beginning of, you call it the house explosion. Now they're playing even fresh music, like dope music all the time.
And this was the beginning of DJ Fresh.
Yes.
This was the beginning of Vinny. This was the beginning of YFM just kind of creating almost a culture, a massive culture. Mm-hmm. I remember I was quite close to the Soul Candy Records side of things, and you would go into the record store and want to buy something, and you weren't allowed to have it until the DJ at YFM got it first.
Got it first, yes.
So there were all the DJs from YFM, and they all had a pile.
Of course.
And every single DJ got all the new releases, and they would have an account, and they'd fetch their records and pay their money.
Same thing happened at House Africa. Maybe they'll go to Soul Candy, do that.
Go to House Africa.
Same thing.
And they were breaking.
Yes.
Radio was breaking underground house music constantly.
Mm-hmm. Because you see, they were allowed to play anything they want to play. Amazing. So it's not like today where like play this, play that. No.
You
play.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Fresh.
So did Greg give you your own show, or was he just getting music from House Africa?
Music from House Africa, and then once in a while he'll call me up to come and do a mix on the show, which was cool.
Okay.
And Tim came to me. It's like, I see people coming to you at clubs. Because Tim used to go out.
There was a time.
There was a time. I see people coming to you while you're playing, say they'd like a mixtape. How often does it happen? I'm like, all the time. So basically, I need to record my set at the club and give it to you, just like that. It's like, but we can make this legit. How do we make it legit? License a track, put it on a CD, go to EMI or Sony Music, do a deal. Then it's in the stores and people can buy it.
Yes.
Then it's legit, it's proper. Okay. So, but what are we gonna call the city? Don't call it House Africa, it's fine. Okay, cool. Then Fresh was becoming big. You can see him growing, like he's the hot thing that was happening at the time. And why don't we call Fresh so he can be the face of this project? He plays this music anyway, so why not? Fresh comes in, we had a meeting, he liked the idea. That was the beginning of Fresh House Flavor, Volume 1, if you remember that one.
Who cannot remember that? If you're living in South Africa and you have a heartbeat, you will know what Fresh House Flavor has done for house music. I remember coming from my perspective, I was very young and House Africa was doing its thing. And it started in the compilation game.
Of course.
And you guys were breaking records. And I was into electronic music. I was into hip hop.
Drum and bass and
everything just weird, quirky and electronic, really got me excited. And I bought House Africa Volume 1, mixed by Vinny. Track number 1, Moloko.
Sing it back,
Herbert remix. To this day, I can't forget the impact that had on me. And when did that happen? When did that album come out? So I didn't realize. So Fresh House Flavor was first.
Was the first one, because if you remember, it wasn't even mixed. It was just tracks.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that did well. It sold over 100,000 copies, right? And in-house music terms, that's huge, And sit down again, okay, fine, this thing is doing well. What's the next best thing we can do? Tim's like, you can mix the next one.
100%.
I'm like, nah, not me. I can't do that, not yet, because Fresh is doing well, it's huge. How do I go against that thing?
For sure.
Like, no, just do it, man. Take your favorite 12 tracks that you like playing today, put them on a CD, let's go. Let's see what happens. Got nothing to lose. Did that. Wow. that was amazing. And I mean, those tracks like Boloko and Mike Dunn and Mateo and Matos, all those tracks were my favorite tracks at the time.
And they still get the party going today.
Even today. And I mean, I remember people asking me, but why do you play a track like Moloko, especially the Habit dub?
Yes.
I'm like, there's something there that I can't even explain, you know? And for me, a lot of people didn't understand this electronic thing that was happening because I used to listen to everything. And remember, if you remember very well, at House Africa, we had the black side and the white side.
I remember.
You know?
Yeah.
So every time, when I've got some time, I'll sit there with Graham and he'll play me some tracks. I'm like, they sound nice. I mean, I could play this, even though I was scared to play anything that's whitish. I couldn't, you know, I feel like I'm selling out here or something like that. So when he, actually G-Force came with that Boloko thing, I think he went overseas. Then he came back with that double pack. And I played it. Okay, the house version were okay. And I just said, this Moloko track is gonna be mainstream, especially, you know, on everywhere. Sure. It's gonna be a big track. But I still prefer that other weird one. You know?
But what Herbert did there.
Exactly.
And
that was
Herbert
amazing.
is a very special producer.
Of course. And I've been playing a lot of the Habit stuff on Phono label. And I'm like, no, but let me try this one. And Tim was like, no, man, let's go for the other one, the Boris Dlugosh Biggs. I'm like, no, I want this one. And we went for it, and wow.
So would you say that point in your career was a career-changing moment?
Definitely. Yeah, I think after, remember, Fresh House Flavor did well. Like, it was the best thing ever happened to South Africa. So now here's Vinny coming up with this deep one.
And it was deep.
And it was quite deep. Yeah. And I was not sure if people will accept it, but I was like, you know, fuck it. I'm going with this thing.
For sure.
It's cool. And it caught on like wildfire. Like, I think it even almost, I think if I look back, Fresh House Flavor #1 was the biggest selling we've ever done at House Africa. So Deep House Sounds Volume 1 was the second best selling ever.
Amazing.
Ever.
Amazing.
And I couldn't understand the fact that this music is deep. This house genre is quite deep. I'm not sure if people will accept it, but they did. And yeah, I think for me, definitely that was a game changer. Yeah.
So then once you dropped that CD, what was the next thing that happened? I mean, obviously, you must have got bookings coming out your ears.
Yes, yeah.
And Vinny now probably had not as much time as he would have liked for House Africa anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now I'm going all over. I mean, I'm getting booked overseas. I'm getting booked everywhere. So this thing is like, wow. Then I think at that time I'm like, wow, actually, this is a job. It's no longer about Vinny going to play music, having fun, whatever. Now this is a job. And yeah, shortly after that, Tim said, actually, Vinny, we see you like what you're doing here. Partnership?
I was just going to ask you the next thing.
Know?
So the partnership only happened
after the release of Deep House Sounds Volume 1.
Okay. Yeah. Where does Christos come into your world? Because you have can I call it a group or a duo? DJs at Work?
A duo, yeah.
A duo. And I always remember growing up and seeing on the TV, SABC something, one of the channels, there's Vinny and Christos landing on a helicopter, getting out of a helicopter and going and DJing somewhere on New Year's. And I was a kid and I was like, that is amazing. Where did your relationship start and why did you guys decide to do this duo?
I think right in between the House Africa thing starting, Chris and his friend in Pretoria opened a club. And they came to me like, dude, we're opening a club. If you want, we can make you a partner as well here in this business. So you and Chris can be the residents, can play only Fridays. Saturdays you can go do your thing. But your name, both your names, if we use those names to push the slab, we'll go far. Thought about it. I'm like, actually, yeah. I mean, if it's a Friday, once a week, why not? Let me just do it. Then we opened. That's the Carnalita. That's the club Carnalita. Started in Pretoria, and then we were there every week, and playing.
So you guys were playing back to back?
Sometimes, you know.
Okay.
You'll play a set, I'll play a set, and then maybe at the end we'll play back to back. So that went on for a long time. I think about 2-3 years. And we were drunk one night, sitting with Christos and talking like, okay, yes, we hear this Kwaito thing that's going on, but we're not feeling it, you know? What can we do to change this whole thing? And Chris was like, no, but maybe let's start a project. Me and you. Call it Vinny, Vinci, and Christos. And then, yes, I'm not a producer. I can't even play a piano. I can't do anything. Chris can't, but he's got a lot of knowledge about studio, about engineering. He knows it all.
Yeah.
And we called in some people. Somebody who can play keyboard.
What you guys want?
Call him into the studio. Chris decided he just bought studio equipment and then he set it up at his house.
Amazing.
It was fine. But he was not using it.
Sure.
I think that's when he started, remember the Boom Shaka
Yes.
came from there and all those things.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, but we can produce. I mean, I've done Boom Shaka, I've done this. Let's do our own thing. And how did he do Boom Shaka? By calling people up to say, play this way.
100%.
Called this guy in, he came in, we want this beat like this, we want. And we were sampling a lot of records, a lot of vinyls that we have. I mean, if this kick, I like this kick, let's use this kick.
For sure.
You know, doing a lot of sampling work, but the music was played, you know, by someone else. But we tell them what to play.
100%.
You know?
A lot of producers do that. You still produce
you know. And a lot of people were like, yeah, but you're right. People were like, yeah, but you guys are not producers. I'm like, yes, we are DJs, but the idea of this track is mine.
100%.
So what do you call me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did that first album, DJ Said Work.
Yes.
Even the name, we were not sure whether we were gonna call it Vinny Vinci or Christos or. And that album, we finished it, put it out, and people were like, we're not sure, you sounding like international, it's not South African.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we wanted to do, because a lot of the quieter tracks, they didn't have, they sound nice, but they were not engineered properly.
For sure.
mean, the beats, if you play an international track, and mix it with a vinyl, quieter vinyl, you can hear,
100%.
Sound drops.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would rather they could have just maybe used samples as well, just to lift up their sound. And we did that, went to EMI, told them we've got a project. They were not sure, okay, but we'll put it out, let's see. But it was slow in the beginning. And then, okay, how do we promote this thing? Let's do a gig, a huge gig in a stadium.
Oh, wow.
Right? We went to the Val, booked out a stadium, and had this gig there where when you come in at the gate, the ticket comes with a tape.
Your album?
The album.
DJs at Work?
DJs at Work. We had probably about 15,000, 20,000 people that day. So
that already took you, I mean, if you look at the statistics, you already went gold on one day.
You gold on one night, you're done. And the amazing thing was, when people were leaving that stadium, all you could hear from the cars that were there was our project. And that made me so proud. I'm like,
sure.
Wow, they're playing my music. Every car that was leaving. And obviously that spreads the word about the album. You know, people are like, I got this thing, it's hot. Album did very well as well. So that's how the DJ set work was.
So your relationship with Christos was, it started then, you did an album.
Yeah.
Was there any more music together after that? Were there any more projects, or is it just
No. We did a few projects over the years. I think we did about 6. We had 6 albums. Yeah, 6 albums all in all. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the others didn't really do that well.
Sure.
But that one obviously opened up the doors for
100%.
For a lot of things. Yeah.
And since the beginning of your first compilation on House Africa, you've done many more.
Okay, yeah.
And you and I interviewed you in a music warehouse in the middle of Johannesburg.
Yes,
I mean, this is like, what's the name of the music warehouse? Dakota.
Dakota. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
The
Dakota.
biggest wholesaler of music to the general public.
Yes.
I remember walking in there, and you and I were talking about your album and whether we'd be able to find it, and we didn't. We found some. We found the new ones, but all the old ones had been sold.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that kind of just proved to me, and it's something you said to me as we walked in, that Vinny's comps sell. You just sell units. How many comps have you done in total with House Africa?
Deep House Sounds, 10. I've got 10.
10 comps.
10 comps.
Spanning how many? Is it one a year?
There's maybe one every other year, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, a good 10 years.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. And then there was the Africanism series.
I remember that.
Yes. We did 3 of those. What's Fat Pussycat?
Yeah.
I did 2.
With Alexia.
Yeah, with Alexia.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So how many albums have you done in your life, Vinny? You need to tell me, how many compilations? Because your influence is really felt in a lot of South Africans, and I think your catalog of work shows that.
Okay, my own probably about 20. My own.
Wow.
And I produced the other.
DJs at Work stuff.
The DJs at Work. The Fresh House Flavor series. I produced that.
So you were helping A&R?
Yes.
You were helping, okay.
Glenn Lewis, done that.
Mid-tempo?
The mid-tempo and Numero Uno and
Okay.
all those.
I think we're running out of fingers here. Just so many.
It's a lot. The catalog is huge. I mean, it's huge to an extent that, I mean, I'm sure you know this. Every time a lot of people come to me like, Vinny, are you ever gonna re-release that old stuff again, because we can't find it?
For sure.
You've bought them, they got lost.
Yeah.
Or you bought it to a friend or whatever.
It's on cassette. They don't make cassette players anymore.
Yes.
There's
So,
always,
which I thought it's a good thing. It could be a good thing to do, but the problem would be like you need to re-license. It's not like it's as easy as like, now let's just put it out
together.
there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, and but it's never too late. It's never too late. Could happen.
The big question is, you are such a legend in South African music. I'm not even going to say deep house. I'm just going to say music in general. A lot of people know you. You know what? I just got out an airplane here with Vinny in PE, and you got guys coming up there taking photos of Vinny everywhere. There's guys here, there's guys there. Vinny.
Yes.
And I think what a lot of people want to know, including myself, is how do you stick to what you want to do and stick to the music and the passion and like don't compromise. You know, you told me earlier about the story with Maloko, and you wanted that song and you didn't compromise. You pushed through, and now that song is almost an anthem. You know, when we're DJing later, if I had to play that song,
you'll see what's going to happen.
Exactly, it's going to be a monster. How can you advise just anyone, just a random guy on the street about, you know, if they want to follow through with their dreams, what advice could you give them?
I would say, look, I mean, first and foremost, it's like you gotta have a passion for this thing. Don't just do it because you want to be famous, and you know, and treat it as a job. I mean, I call it a job. I'm here to work. Simple. And whatever genre that you choose to go with, I don't care what it is, stick to it. Okay, this one is not working today. No, let me try that one.
Right.
In my work, I've seen people do that, and sometimes
hip-hop DJs one day, house DJs next day.
You know what I mean?
Gom
Like,
DJs
so I feel like stick to your guns. Yes, it might not happen today, but remember, you're not making this like, okay, let me try it out. If it doesn't work, I quit. No, if it's in you, try today. It doesn't work, you're gonna try again tomorrow.
100%.
Just like that. Yeah. I think that's what I did because I stuck to my guns. I felt like I love the sound. For me, it makes me happy. And if I play music that I love to people and I see people smiling, dancing, I'm done, man. I can go home and sleep and properly.
Best job in the world.
Yeah. Unlike playing music, people are just looking at you like, okay, fine. What is he trying to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, and yes, especially if you're playing the music that you love as well.
100%.
That for me, that's nothing beats that.
So I know that we often bump into each other on our travels around the country, and you play a lot of townships and you play a lot of venues that may not have what we have tonight.
Of course.
Which is something very special. This is an artist from Spain. His name is Felipe Pantone, and he's joined us with the True Music series. And what's going to happen tonight is I've given you a 2-hour DJ set, and I'll tell you why. Because you and I are always tweeting 1-hour DJ sets must fall.
Yeah, they must fall, actually.
They must disappear.
Yeah, they must die.
So Vinny's playing 2 hours for us this evening, and every single beat that you knock out of that mixer, the visuals behind us are going to be reacting to that.
That's cool.
How does that make you feel?
That's good. I feel like, look, I've seen similar, but not at home, not in South Africa, not a lot in South Africa, because I feel like, you mentioned the fact that I go to townships, I play, it's just a sound system.
For sure.
Bright lights, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I always felt like we need to change this game, give people an experience.
That's exactly it. I think that's what we're going to be doing tonight.
Because this creates some kind of ambience, like it's beautiful, basically. You know what I mean? So
I'm so looking forward to your set, man. We're going to be going 2 hours in with Vinny here tonight at Kid Funk Presents. And the last thing I want to ask you, and I'm asking you this because I'm not getting any younger. Are you ever going to hang up your headphones? Are you ever going to be, I'm done? Because the truth is you're not getting younger either.
No.
And this is what we do.
This is what I do. Hanging up, why should I? I love this thing.
100%.
I love this thing. As long as I'm still walking, as long as I can still hear and I can still see. Okay, I'm wearing glasses now, but I can still see.
100%.
Yeah, but I don't see myself doing anything else besides music. It's my life.
I'll tell you what, I don't see you doing anything else other than being Vinny Da Vinci and rocking South Africa. Thank you so much for sitting with me and having this. I've learned so much about you today, and I'm looking forward to your set later.
Nice one, Alan.
Thank you, bro.
Dope.
Thanks for listening to Kid Funk Presents the Ballantine's True Music series. Make sure you tune in for the next session with me and other industry artists who stay true. For more on the True Music series, check out the Ballantine site or follow Ballantine's SA on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For more on the Kid Funk Presents the Ballantine's True Music series, check out Kid Funk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and any other social media platform.
So let me tell you the power of this music.
It's what I live for.
It's a connection.
It's positive energy.
Ready for the ride?
I'll see you in the queue. This sound is worth fighting for.
We hear you, people. We're standing up for true music.
Not for persons under the age of 18. Enjoy responsibly.
together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony, let's come together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony, let's come together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony, let's come together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony. Time is running out, let there be no doubt. We should sort things out if we can, like we say we do. Not just empty words for a week or two. Make the world your priority. Try to live your life ecologically. Play a part in the greater scheme. Try to live the dream on a wider scene. Let's come together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony, let's come together right now. Oh yeah. In sweet harmony, let's come together.